Liberians are facing is that, for example, when a government official is ill, because of, flee out of the country, government officials sending their children to private institution, and based on that priority, another giving the government institution. Now, like you mentioned that for you, when you're ill, you go to GFK. So this is an example that you're trying to set. What is actually, do you have specific policy, or do you have come up, talking about government, you have come to a conclusion that, okay, so if a government official is ill, should not live in this country, do you have any strategy to put in place so that attention will be given to government entity so that you will be an example? Thank you so much.
Thank you. My name is Desmond William, and I report for Liberia On News. I have basically two concerns. The first concern is this panoramic justice group. I have done follow research as to whether this group exists first and foremost, and whether indeed they are written officially. Christopher Peter, who happens to be the chair on foreign affairs with emphasis on Africa, who is a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, there is a
Chris Smith or Christopher?
Christopher Smith. Thank you. It's Christopher Smith, not Peter. Our government, the government you serve as Minister of Information, it is your responsibility, especially information relating to these kind of issues, must be investigated to the core. Now you have come to tell us that indeed, during the regular investigation, this group, in fact, this group doesn't have a website.
Government, not me. What I read there is the Ministry of Justice.
The Ministry of Justice, whatever the case. All right. So you have said that this institution does not have a website, that's one. And you also said the executive director of this institution has been a strong critic of the president, by the time vice president. So probably this issue may have been politically motivated. But what is concerning to us as journalists is when these informations come from America that happens to be our colonial power, then it has some level of implications about the governance of our state. Has the government done so far to the U.S. Embassy probably to getting them on an official record as to whether this information coming up from the U.S. government, whether this group exists, that's one. And secondly, have they also done a due diligence to know whether officially Christopher Smith, who is an official governmental personnel of the House of Representatives of the United States, was rated? If so, if the government has not done so, is the government thinking of informing the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia about this issue? Because there is about continental border issues on governance. And my second concern is just barely over a year, the Liberian government, under the stewardship of His Excellency President Boakai, can point to over close to about 15 dismissals. 15 dismissals, as far as concerned, 15 dismissals in government. Some of these dismissals are civil servants. Some of these dismissals are civil servants. What is concerning is, we witnessed the recent appearance of the MDR political party youth at the Prince Johnson funeral, where he spoke critically, and thereafter he came back to Monrovia. He was dismissed. He served as a director for occupational health and safety. It's a civil servant job, but he was dismissed by the minister. The issue about NSA or Nesco Wallo, assistant operational director, he was also dismissed following his statement. We also foresaw the dismissal of, these are the instant cases, Adu Kanem from the Liberia Maritime, who was also deputy director for corporate communications, was also dismissed. As an independent investigative journalist, I have gone to these very institutions to ascertain from their bosses what could be prompting the reason behind the dismissal. All I gathered for myself, these people were just dismissed. Like for Maritime was dismissed for probably what they term as administrative.
What is the question?
So now the concern is government take power, especially the government, it is the sole proprietorship for drug distribution. And now that this same government that's supposed to be distributing drugs is the same government taking people from on jobs, how can we confront this as a government to Liberians that feel entitled to these jobs. That is
Okay, all right, okay. You have two questions. You have
I beg your pardon, Mr. Minister. So let me just. So the last question, Mr. Minister, I beg your pardon.
Did you say two?
So can you just read?
No. Didn't you say two?
Okay, three for the
Good afternoon. My name is Christopher Beverman, and I report for Hosts of Liberia. So, with numerous developmental progress being made, the President outlined in his national address yesterday, there was nothing said about sport. So where are we with our sporting activities in Liberia?
All right, I'm Lawrence again. I write for Ghana FM. So we talking about the president's speech, on the state of the republic. The president made a statement and he said, "We cannot speak about the state of the republic only in terms of the material condition of the people, which is the so-called bread and butter issues." Mr. Minister, the only thing is on Monday to refer to the material things of the public as so-called. And then my last concern have to do with, at the end of the president's speech, we talk about giving a state funeral to the former president, that is former President Samuel K. Doe. Many would say, since his death has gone decade plus, and using state resources, conducting the funeral for the late president is just a waste of resources. Thank you.
You want to ask me? Ask.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Thank you for your explanation. My name is Strokon Flammer and I report for Sweden. In the President's address on yesterday, he did mention that there are progress made so far in the issue of addressing the drug crisis. It says several young people already rehabilitated. But this is a great concern for the president who has said several young people who are addicted to drugs already rehabilitated, like there were no figure or what the current status of those who left the rehabilitation home, and how many young people are going to be, they are going to enroll in the next, section of the rehabilitation home. How many young people that you're going to recruit to rehabilitate them? So that because the drug issue now taking over the entire country, so people want to know in terms of statistics. I don't know, though we did not even hear any figure on job employment and all of that, but it's good. Thank you.
An independent journalist, as my dear young comrade described himself, is not able to establish that NSA has a non-political requirement. Nobody who works with the NSA can be anything near politics. So if you have a political identity that was hiding and you bring it to the Republic, it's an automatic dismissal. Wouldn't be established in the NSA. So to even reference him and then you made a conclusion that your independent investigation showed that people are just being dismissed for the reason's sake. There's a contradiction that can be associated with an independent investigative journalist. Second, when you work as a civil servant, the decision as to what are the things you will do are dismissible, rests with the authorities and that entity, but you have a remedy. If you are convinced that your dismissal is illegal or is not justified, you can do a formal complaint as required to the civil service agency. There have been several instances where people who felt that they were wrongfully dismissed following an investigation were reinstated. Anybody who may have been dismissed and fall in that category, even though I don't agree with your statistic, when you start saying whatever your figure is, but that's immaterial to wanting to address what I wanted to address. So that's how much I have to say to you. If you could not even establish the first elementary step that nobody in the NSS will be allowed with any political activity, then that's it. Waste of money. Because you say you want to give befitting reburial to 2 presidents who were butchered. So what is your assumption as to how much money will be spent that is classified as a waste of money? Do you know how many people who connected to these families are hurting? Do you know the wounds they have that you have to heal? It needs 10 years of Minister of Information if I were to die in this position. That's a special kind of burial that is required. You're talking about 2 former presidents. You just saw the burial of Senator Johnson, he was just senator. Talking about 2 former presidents who were butchered. Even there are questions about where they were buried. When I was on ELBC this morning, there were callers from Grand Piah. They took nothing out of the engagement except for the fact that they were happy that their son, who was president, who died, and who grave will be not even able to strictly locate, will have proper burial. And that's the word the president used. Proper burial. Proper burial is even biblical. Jesus died, placing in a tomb that had not been used before. That was proper burial. They used oil, expensive perfume, to treat the body before that burial. That was proper burial. When you can now point to the grave of a former president, and there's a determination to do it properly. So their families, on Decoration Day, can see a place they call a grave of their own and go there for reflection. If for you that costs so much of money that it should not be done, then we see a different recovery. So we'll give them proper burial. If that is the reason why the roads will not be built, medicine will not be in the hospitals, because somebody will get proper burial, then so be it. It's the right thing to do. Red group, Chris May, I don't know what kind of answer I was going to give because I think you told more time explaining things I didn't understand by asking questions. Our position on the human rights group is what I read. No subtraction, no addition. Quote that in your news. What is the government's strategy to empower one local health center? Oh, okay. All of you can talk about human rights. The fact that somebody work for you, then you tell the man, say, when you sick, you can't travel. You don't have the right to go to any private hospital, only government hospital you can go to. And now human rights issue them. Even in the greatest country. I can give you an example because these are lived there for a while. People have their choices as to where they want to go take their health issue. You want to go to a private hospital, you go there. You want to go to a state hospital, you go there. You want to go to a federal hospital, you go there. Because you see, the cost for doing it is yours. When I go to jail, the government pay the money for me to go to where I go to there. So the choice as to where I go gotta be me. And that's the example I chose to do because I know many of the people who are there. And I can anytime bet my leg that I am one of the best of doctors you can imagine anywhere. And that's one of the motivations I get for we can go there. Because they are able, they are capable, they are competent. And as a government, we continue to do what we're supposed to do to empower them so that we don't force them to send somebody out to go buy medicine they trust to. So that somebody who's going to do the anesthesia will not be having problems with what they're supposed to use and they got to go find it in the drugstore. So that the guy who's going in the operational room to conduct the surgery God gets everything he or she needs to go and perform the surgery. So that even the simple environment, because sometimes you just about how the place go. Some hospital you enter there, as soon as you enter the place, you feel more sick than you were. Some when you enter just, you look at how the place looking, you already feeling well, you that even talk to you. That's all part of the psychology of what happens in the medical field. It is all that we have to put our energy together to make better. For the very mental health of the people who work in the hospital. You know why it takes to be in the hospital every day, you see people dying right before your eyes, your patient. Maybe that person sick, the man that you're interacting, there's an attachment. And you're right there. You don't know why it takes for that last breath to leave a person. Witness it one day. There's so many people when they witness multiple of these things and they do their work, they leave the hospital depressed. They're struggling with mental health issues. But the many persons they see suffering, forget about the death. Some of the people who lie in these hospitals, they are suffering. The breath is not going to cut up. But you can see that person is not making no progress. And they're in pain, but you are a nurse, you are a doctor, you got to deal with them. You don't want them to be strong with those psychological issues I think I worry about. Better pay, what is in the hospital, what is in the hospital. So yes, it is my way of showing example that we should trust the system we manage. But at the same time, I think it will be a human rights issue when we start telling people, say, you're forced to go there. We can encourage them to do so. The government say the presidency bread and butter issue, that so-called bread and butter issue. So you say you don't think the president is respecting the people. The first thing the bread and butter things we all talk about, no set definition. You can't have the government try to perform small. Oh, when you can do anything, when you address the bread and butter issue, nothing. So don't build no roads. Don't bring electricity. Don't equip the schools. Don't equip the hospital. Bring the rest spread down to 5 hours per day. You all right? You either see rest, plenty, then the health challenge will come, there's nothing in the hospital. But when you leave it and just focus on just the ordinary thing. Then it's a lot of problem. And don't be offended by it. Who can get on really about it because of the president? But the simple who do you're so thin skinned. As soon as somebody say anything, you're going, your vein. I've sat here People have used days, weeks on platform. See, everything they want to say about me. I don't have time for it. I am who I am. I know myself. You can't define who I am. No, you can't. And that's why no matter how much you do to define me the way you see me, they probably don't buy into it because they know me. And it wouldn't make any sense for me to elevate that by jumping into back and forth with anybody. I have a piece of job to do, I focus on it. Say your own. I will not answer you. But the goal is to distract me, and I don't fall for distraction. I've always tried to remind people, and maybe you're not paying attention. It is not by accident that some people call me the name they call me. I didn't put it on myself. I didn't tell anybody, say, call me Fidel Castro. I interact with people. I work with people. You see, when I see people running around all day, everything I put is running tired, is doing there, they tell a militancy. The group of the actual definition of militants who face a tyrant before protests of chunking right and running tired. But that tyrant succumbed to their power. Us, my generation of students at the university. Charles Taylor was president. We did not get in the street one day. We didn't jump in a rap on police. We didn't went tired. But when we stood like I was standing here and spoke to issues, Taylor will be uneasy the whole day. That's the power. That's too true. Not getting tired. Not being disrupted. What other people are supposed to do? Make your voices strong. That when you speak to issues, they see the issues. Taylor was a don't kill man. You can kill anybody. Not people come from you just criticize you, condemn the father and kill people. We're facing head on. So to just say that in one corner, if you talking about it, you think that kind of thing will move me? No, we're not in that. It's your right, do it. The goal is to focus on what I have to do for the time that I'm here. I'm not worried about when I will not be here. I'm worried about what I can do now while I'm here. You don't even know the circumstances under which we're doing so many things with. Still things called imagination. Keeping our eyes on the prize. This new year, now that we have finalized and have a national development agenda, everyone, including our partners, are committed to, we accelerate development. That was just at the annual message we were talking. If all the convenes that the next budget year we need the 1 billion target and above. Those are the things that matter. And the final question, the first man, maybe you're not listening when I started. What I was concerned about who was absent, who was not absent. I told you from the very beginning of the presentation what the Constitution requires as to what took place in the capital. It requires that the legislature come together in joint session. It requires that they should have quorum, and the president will address them. And of course, we get there as guests, visitors, invitees, etc., etc. Only they are required. In fact, in the Ghanaian parliament, if I'm not mistaken, in the South African parliament, when they call the president to speak, to address, the people sitting there are still parliamentarians. It is our tradition to expand it. Now, for those of you who worry so much about who are not there, who there, and the people get spokesperson, that they want you to answer the question about why they were not there, not my fault, not my concern. My concern is that we meet the constitutional basis for what will happen at the capital. Yes. Did the legislature assemble in joint session? Yes. They have quorum? Yes. Was the annual message delivered? Yes. Because see, don't push all into things that we don't want to see. The budget that we're going to execute, everybody taking care, everybody doing it. Now who buy the budget? Who buy the budget? It didn't pass on the Gaba speaker budget. So you guys have questions to go ask people, what else? Why are they not there? What are the questions? You don't mean to say that. Go to them. But did it have any bearing on the gallery? No. Because the Constitution did not require everybody to be there. The people who the Constitution said to be there are the people who were there. So what they did was legal, was constitutional, to remove. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Focus on Liberia Live Television, and that was the Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Minister Jerolinmek M, who addressed the press today on the regular press briefing of the Minister of Information. Well, my name is Gwendolyn Dorado reporting. I say bye from my end.